Hi, my name's Sean with Desert Mountain Healing IOP here in Rio Rancho. I'd like to thank everybody for joining our channel. Today I'm going to be talking to my business partner, Gary Gamboa, about what some of his journey to sobriety was like. So, Gary, how hard was it for you to realize that you had actually hit your bottom?
Well, I actually started thinking about stopping drinking 5 years before I stopped. So I drank for 35 years, and I was just getting, that old adage of sick and tired of being sick and tired of it. But in a way, the blessing of 35 years of drinking, I was ready to stop. I don't think I would have been much ready after 10 or 15 years, who knows, but I was definitely ready to stop. But that last 5 years of drinking was was miserable because I knew I had needed to stop, and I knew I had to find a way to stop. My marriage was falling apart. So taking that all in and still drinking 5 years, it was a pretty bad thing. But probably the the pinnacle of it was my marriage falling apart, and I did not want to lose my wife. So that was pretty much the deciding factor.
Yeah, it's amazing how often family becomes that. So, what was the hardest thing when you first got into recovery to kind of accept that the programs were telling you you needed to believe or think or feel?
I didn't. I went to AA not knowing the program. I didn't even know it was a 12-step program. I didn't know what a 12-step program was. But my sister-in-law had recovered, was a 17-year recovery from Alcoholics Anonymous, and I just, from that information, I just went. That's all I knew. That's all I knew as a recovery program to get stop drinking. So I just showed up, and it really wasn't hard for me. I was really, really, really at to the bottom of my heart ready to quit. My mind was I was quitting, and there was no going back in my mind. And there again, I think after 35 years of pretty hard drinking, I was ready. And so I basically showed up. They gave me a big book, um, told me to get a sponsor. I got a sponsor within maybe a couple weeks I was there. And at that point, my sponsor took it from there. I worked the steps, and with a honest, good effort on my part, and it worked. The obsession went away, and I stopped drinking.
Nice. You had mentioned earlier about your marriage falling apart. How hard was it to kind of regain the respect of your family, especially after like 35 years of drinking?
You know, uh, it was it was more a mind game for me than them. I think they were glad to see me get sober, and um, but I just had, even though I remember early on, I would ask Barbie all the time. I would ask her, "Are you proud of me?" And I would ask her not only like once a week. I'd ask her once or twice a day. I just could not understand how she could be proud of me after these 35 years of just partying, going crazy. And she would tell me, "Yeah, I am," and I've heard, I don't know how true it is, but I've heard your family members um, have a little idea of you might start drinking as long as 10 years after you stop drinking. And I don't know if that's anywhere in any you know books or anything, but I heard it from another alcoholic. But at 7 years, I'm still wondering if all the scars are gone from those 35 years with my kids and my wife. But you know, I just try to do the best I can, and just try to make them proud of me and try to help them out. And it seems to be from the outside appearance of things, when I'm looking from the outside to my kids and my wife, it seems like they're on board with me. But I guess, I guess I don't, me as an alcoholic, I don't know if I'll ever be fully convinced that they're just totally erased of all that damage I did. So who knows? Mm.
So, you said you got sober about 7 years ago. Looking at where you were at 7 years ago and where you're at today, what would you say is one of the most surprising or unexpected gifts that sobriety has given you?
I think there's probably a couple, but I'm a real basic type nuts and bolts guy. I just did what they told me. Got a sponsor, work the steps. And I was always told just do what you're supposed to do, and the rest will take care of itself. And you hear a lot of words in the big book and in the promises like disappear, slip away, um, intuitively, and I really didn't get caught up on all that trying to figure it out. I just did the steps, did what my sponsor, and those things all happened, you know. And I don't know when they happened. The obsession left. I remember going to different events, going to the grocery store, going to getting mad, getting irritated with life, and or me and my wife getting in a little argument, and before I would go on all these events that took place, I would think about drinking. I would go drink, and I remember a couple times I would, like say for instance, me and Barbie got in a argument, and I'd go outside and I'd do something, and we'd patch things up, and the next day I'd be thinking, wow, I didn't even think about drinking. What, something is weird there. So those things like that take care of themselves in the program that just happen, that you don't know when they happen, they just happen. And I would say the second thing is my outlook on life, on the world. I was so disappointed um, when I first got there, so disappointed in the world, and so just really, and I mean on a global level, I was disappointed in the way we treated each other, humanity treated each other, and I was disappointed in the way, you know, I was like questioning God. Why would He put all of us humans on this ball just for this? And it seemed so shallow life, and I was disappointed in our government, the way they run things, and I was disappointed in the way people parented their kids, and just on and on and on. I mean, humanity as a whole, I was just disappointed in, and it was a deep dark hole, and it's like, why do I want to be here, this ain't no fun. I didn't sign up for this, and so, but now, those perspectives all change, and you talk about a lot in AA about getting a new pair of glasses. That's exactly what happened to me. I was, I have purpose now. I have goals, and I'm excited. I remember one time I talked about when I was a little boy and I was a little kid, my parents, my dad would say, "Hey, we're gonna go fishing on." I could not even sit still. I was so excited about that, Or we were gonna go to the fair, or I was just so excited. And then after drinking all those years, I lost that little boy excitement, and just nothing. I mean, nothing would light my fire, And it was just all, and I mean, and I'm a blessed person. I've gone a lot of places. I've had good jobs. I've had, a good family. But just none of that seemed to light my fire. So, but that has all changed in those 7 years.
Awesome. So, if there's one thing that maybe you could go back, have a conversation with your younger self, like before you started drinking, what might you say to yourself then?
Rephrase it one more time. I'm sorry.
So, if you could go back and talk to your younger self, the younger you, like
Mhm.
before you started drinking, what's the one piece of advice you might give yourself?
That's a hard question for me because I've always been a drinker. I was always a drinker that just had fun. You know, I was never I've never got put in jail. I didn't get in fights. I was just a fun, let's have a barbecue and get drunk type guy. Or let's go to a concert and get drunk and see the concert. I was always just, let's just have fun, and so when I first started drinking, I was just having fun, and it's hard for me to say that's not what you're supposed to do. I just I just took the party too far. Most people, they'll drink in their college years and then they'll drink maybe a little bit after that, and then they find a wife and they start to settle down in their late 20s, mid 20s to late 20s, and then they, 30s, they get a career going, 40s, things are just calming down. Well, I'm 50 years old still partying like a 20-year-old, you know, and that's where I went wrong. That's where I went wrong. I just took the party too far. And then somewhere along the line, I crossed the line, as they always say, and the drinking just became what do you call it, master, my king, and everything at that point had to revolve around drinking alcohol, So um, I guess in the early years, I was probably not that far out of line with it, but like I say, I just crossed the line and couldn't get back.
Awesome. Well, Gary, thank you so much for sharing some of your road to recovery with us. I really appreciate it. And to all of you, please remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you another time. Hi, my name's Sean Roberts with Desert Mountain Healing. I'd really like to thank you for tuning into our channel today. Please remember to hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks.